gonna talk about an incident that occurred on November 25th of 2020, correct?
Uh-huh.
All right, so you have to say yes or no
Yes,
because she's
okay,
recording.
yes, sorry.
That's okay. You don't know Chloe Driver prior to that date, correct?
No.
All right, so let's talk about what happened in November of 2020. You, at that point in time, were living where?
In Fairview.
Okay, and where's
North
that?
Carolina.
Okay, where's that in relation to Asheville? What'd you guess?
Like 10 minutes from each other.
Okay, all right. So tell us what you saw on November 25th of 2020.
Well, I was driving down the road to go get some lunch, and I seen these two guys chasing a young girl. So they were right in the middle of the, like on the side of the road. I made a U-turn, came back. I wanted to see if she was okay because, I mean, she was running from them. And then they had got a hold of her and was dragging her back to the apartments that were right there.
Okay, was this a pretty busy intersection or area?
It's a 2-lane, so it's very small.
Okay.
It's busy usually at first thing in the morning, afternoon, school time, and then in the evenings.
But you were just driving down the road on your way to get lunch that day?
Yep, I was just cutting down that little road to go over to the Biltmore area to get lunch.
Okay. Is the young lady you saw running that day present, sitting over there?
I believe so. I mean, it all happened so fast.
Okay. And you said she was being chased by 2 men?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember what those men looked like, correct?
Oh, yes.
All right. Can you describe what they looked like?
Well, one of them, in my opinion, looks like Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
And the other one was just a tall, blonde-headed guy. I mean,
Which one was chasing Miss Driver?
both.
Both of them.
Yes.
Do you recall which one actually physically grabbed her?
Well, they both were like on the side of her, like bringing her back to, because I had pulled over into the apartments there, and she had both of them on the side of her.
Based on what you had seen driving down the road, that created some level of concern for you, correct?
Yeah, oh, yes, because I made a U-turn.
Okay, and then you came back and saw them struggling over her?
Yes.
Okay, and there was still traffic in the area, correct?
Yes.
All right, do you recall Miss Driver's appearance that day? Like, did you notice any emotions or anything that she was exhibiting?
Well, she was very upset. She was yelling at me to help her child, that these people were kidnapping her. And, you know, that's why I stood and waited. And then I called the law, 911.
Okay, so you called 911?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you, I think you talked about where you moved your vehicle?
Yeah, so where I was parked at, I had actually backed up because they were bringing her back towards the apartment. So I just parked in front of this row of cars,
Okay.
not knowing whose they were. I was just trying to, but I was still in my vehicle at that time. still.
And you saw them struggling over her, correct?
Yeah, both of them, yes,
All
struggling
right.
over her. And then she approached my vehicle, and then, what's his name, Benjamin? The dark-headed gentleman is the one that grabbed her again,
Okay.
right in front of she was standing at my doorway.
Okay, and you recall her yelling certain things to you?
Yeah, help me, they're trying to kidnap, they got my daughter,
Okay.
don't leave me, call my mom,
Okay.
call my parents, and she tried to give me the phone number.
Okay, and you recall that specifically?
Yes.
Okay. And what were Mr. Ben Michael and Mr. Spillers doing in response to that? Do you recall?
Just, they grabbed her and got her, trying to get her back in the house, and then she came back out of the house.
Okay, so she got back out of the house?
Yes.
Okay, and then what did she do next?
Come running back towards my vehicle. I had, like I said, called 911 already, and I was just waiting for the police to show up.
Okay, and what did you do with your vehicle?
It was still parked.
Okay.
in front of the apartment there, which, I mean, I didn't know that was the apartment she was gonna go to, but I was just parked in front of someone's apartment and had vehicles blocked in.
So you saw her being physically taken back into that apartment?
Yes.
Okay,
I actually take it in there, and then Benjamin's the one that yelled and said she's having a panic attack.
Okay. Did you believe that at that time?
No, because I know people that have had panic attacks. She was yelling for help
Okay.
and to help her child.
All right, so you had already called 911?
Yes.
And you were still waiting for them to come?
Yes.
All right, and then what happened after she came out of that apartment?
So when she came out of the apartment, he come after her, Benjamin, or
Okay.
whatever his name is. So he came after her, grabbed her, and at that point was trying to put her into the vehicle, his vehicle, which I had blocked in, which I didn't know that. And she was fighting him off, yelling, screaming, fighting. And then here come another lady out of the house who had a baby.
Okay, and where did that lady go with the baby?
She was trying to get in the vehicle as they were trying to put her in the vehicle, and she was trying to grab her baby. So then now they're tug of warring with the baby. So I got out of my vehicle at that point.
Okay, and what did you do?
I went over, stuck my hand in the window and tried to grab the keys out of the ignition.
Did it seem like it was taking forever for law enforcement to show
Oh,
up?
definitely.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, where are they? What's going on?
Did you get the impression that Ms. Driver in any way, shape, or form wanted to get into that vehicle with them?
No.
Okay, was she still yelling at that time?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall what she was saying?
Just help me. Help my baby. Don't let them take me. Call my parents.
Okay, all right. And so you tried to keep them from, well, your car had already blocked them in to a degree, correct?
Yes.
All right, and were you able to get those keys?
No.
Okay, and so what did Mr. Ben Michael do?
They got her in the vehicle. The other lady got in the vehicle. And then he got in the he was in the driver's seat trying to maneuver the vehicle to get away.
Okay, and what happened to you as a result of him trying to do that?
So when he was trying to back up a little, back up, go, he ended up hitting me with his vehicle on my knee.
Okay, and you were injured because of that, or had a
Oh,
bruise?
I had a bruise and
Okay.
a cut. And then at that point, he had maneuvered the vehicle enough. He hit the car next to him, which was Peggy's car.
He hit Peggy's car.
Hit Peggy's car,
Okay.
went over an embankment that had plants and flowers and things, went over that and then was gone.
Okay, and were you concerned for Miss Driver and the baby at that point? in
Yeah, I
time?
believe I called 911 again, saying that they had took off with her and the baby, and then Peggy was still there and Jason was still there.
Okay. At any point in time, did you ever punch Peggy?
No, she came around the vehicle and told me, "You don't know what you've done. You don't know what kind of trouble you've caused." And I was like, well, I didn't know what to say, but she was up in my face, like right here. I did push her back.
Okay. But you never punched her
Oh,
or
no.
anything? Okay.
No.
Did you ever brandish a weapon?
Who?
You. Did you ever brandish a gun or a weapon at any
Oh,
of them?
no, I don't even believe in guns or, no.
All right, so if Mr. Spiller said that you were threatening him with a gun, that's not true.
Never. There would be no way.
All right, and so what do you recall happening after Mr. Ben Michael's car left?
Okay, so he was gone. There was a little white car there. Peggy had gotten in the car, and then Jason came around my vehicle yelling and screaming at me, and then boom, hit me right in the face.
Okay. And
Down I went.
Okay, and what do you remember next?
I don't know if I passed out or not. I think I was in shock. Just standing there, I think I was in so much shock.
Okay.
So I was just standing there still waiting for the
The
police to show up.
Okay, and that white car left?
They both got in there and was gone.
Okay, and by both you mean Mr. Spillers and
And Peggy, yes.
Okay, all right, so it's your testimony that Peggy got close enough to you and was yelling at you, accusing you of
Yes.
inserting yourself in someone else's business, I guess?
She just said, you don't know what kind of trouble you've caused now, and I didn't know what you meant by that, but
Okay.
I don't.
So if Mr. Spillers told this jury that you punched Peggy a couple different times, that's not true?
No, that is not true.
Were you ever arrested or charged with anything related to this incident?
No.
And Mr. Spillers and Miss, or Peggy, she goes by a couple different last names, left the scene?
Yes, they were gone.
Okay. And ultimately you gave a police report that day, correct?
Yes, I ended up, the fire truck came, the ambulance came, the police came, they took my information. There was 2 of the witnesses involved that seen everything that took place. And they asked if I wanted medical. I said I was, because my eye was already all red inside and my nose was bleeding. And so I said, well, can you call the ambulance was there, but I told them that I was not going to go with them because they wanted me to leave my brand new vehicle right there in the parking lot.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you some exhibits that have been marked defense 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to talk about that one. Okay, so can you identify what defense 21 is, please?
Okay, so that is me right after, and I was sitting in my car, and that's when I was talking with the paramedics about what they wanted to do. But I was I just sat down back in my vehicle.
Okay. And that's from the date of the incident,
Yes.
correct? All right, so we're going to move to admit 21 through 24,
Mm-hmm.
Judge, and then publish to the jury. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, so this is the picture from November the 25th, correct?
This would be the next day, yes.
Okay, all right. If the date on the picture from your phone is from the 25th, the day of, does that refresh your recollection?
Okay, so that might have been that evening when I went home and showered and
Okay, all right.
everything then.
Wait, you're the one that took these pictures or have
Oh,
these
yes.
pictures? Okay.
Mhm.
Were these pictures provided to law enforcement?
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right,
And the judge in the case.
okay. All right. This is going to be our next exhibit. Can you tell us what that picture is?
That's just, I just got out of the shower, so I can tell that. Just
How the injury,
the injury to my eye, my
Okay.
first black eye.
all right, and do you recall where Mr. Spiller specifically hit you?
Like, just boom, right in the whole, I mean, I didn't even see it coming. I wasn't expecting it. And so he just got me right in the side of the face.
Okay, and it was one punch that took you to the ground?
One punch.
Okay, all right. Go to the next one. Is that the one I have in front of you? The other one you have in front of you? Right there, okay, all right, so this is from November 27th, and again, that's the
The next day.
next day, okay. What kind of medical care did you have to receive for this?
Well, so I stopped. I left the scene, drove myself, because they wanted to leave my vehicle there, and they wouldn't move my vehicle, and I didn't feel safe to have my vehicle sitting there. So I ended up leaving, went to urgent care right around the corner to have them look, and they told me this was an incident that I needed to go to the hospital for.
Okay.
So they actually went to Mission Hospital, and they got me in so quick, and they took x-rays of the face, and he had broken my eye socket, and he had my, what is that called, the orbit?
Orbital bone?
Yeah.
Okay,
And so basically he had broken everything in this side of my face.
okay,
And he you know, pain pills if I needed them for the pain, and ice.
Okay.
And then I had to follow up a couple different times with a bone specialist to see if I needed surgery.
Okay. Did you end up needing surgery?
No.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to show you the next one. And then obviously this is on November the 30th. So again, just the progression of the
Yeah.
injury. So you're, in this one, you can see the bruise to your
It,
jaw.
I don't, it was the whole thing. He only hit me one time.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then it ended up bruising all.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
And Mr. Spillers previously testified about this particular incident. You immediately made this report to law enforcement, correct?
Oh, yes.
All right, and they took your report and ended up taking warrants for the individuals in this case,
Yes, for
correct?
Peggy, because she was right up in my face. I mean, like, for assault. And then, of course, Jason for assault, and Benjamin because he hit me with his vehicle.
Okay.
And as far as I know, they haven't even been served to this still.
Okay, and you were never charged with anything, correct?
Oh, no.
All right, and it's your testimony today that you never brandished a weapon or assaulted Peggy
No.
in whatsoever. You're not a drug user, correct?
No.
Okay, and you weren't drunk or out of your mind on this
Oh, no,
particular
no.
day, too?
I am, whenever any of us girls go out, I am the designated driver because I do not drink.
Okay.
And I just never have.
So Mr. Spillers, your case with Mr. Spillers has been resolved, correct?
Yes, we finally got him. He was in California on charges out there. They finally brought him back here, and we finally did court, I guess maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, all right, and
He pleaded guilty.
He pled guilty?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you didn't have to testify in a trial
No,
or anything else like that?
nothing,
Okay. Did anybody in this particular case, aside from myself and Mr. Kessler, contact you about what happened on the 25th of November?
No.
Okay, you don't recall, you never spoke to anybody from the Canton Police Department or from the District Attorney's Office, correct?
Okay, not for what happened that day.
Okay.
But then, like I said, I didn't know anyone. So.
Okay, so you didn't know any of these people
No,
leading up to that?
I still didn't know nothing for probably the first week.
Okay.
And then I found out about Jason, living 5 minutes from me. And
Okay, so you because you didn't know any of these people, you weren't necessarily able to provide law enforcement on the 25th with their names or anything like that?
Nothing.
You were just able to give them information related to the vehicles that they were driving,
Right.
correct?
So I took pictures and had tag numbers.
Okay. And in your mind, what you saw that day, did you believe that Miss Driver was in distress?
Oh, yes.
And that she was being chased by these individuals?
And kidnapped, yes.
Okay. And you just felt like you needed to intervene or help this young lady?
Yeah, I just, two men chasing a woman, and it's just in my nature. I don't know. I mean, it's a valuable lesson that I learned the hard way. Would I do it again? Yes.
I have no further questions of this witness.
All right, cross-examination.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down. Thank